What's up, everybody, man? You already know who it is, bro. It's your boy, Jerry Fay, and we are back to react with what's new on the tube, man. Like I said, man, earlier, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, man. You celebrating Mother's Day. Hopefully you did something nice to your mother, man. Recording all of these on Sunday, so I gotta say it in all my videos, man. But yeah, today, I know you guys been seeing this whole debate, man, about 100 men versus the one gorilla. We got the answer right here, bro. I was going through my YouTube feed trying to look for things to react to, and this popped up, man. I thought it was perfect because everybody's been trying to, debate whether 100 men can beat a gorilla. And I mean, like, I think it's an interesting question, but like, realistically, I feel like there's really only two answers. Like, it depends. Like, I feel like if it's different if 100 people at the same time go at the gorilla versus 100 people in a row. You know what I'm saying? So like I have two answers, and I feel like they're pretty simple. I feel like if it's 100 in a row, people, or like 100 people in a row, that the gorilla would tear you from limb to limb, dude. Just like single by yourself, you have to fight off 100 people. Like there's no way like a gorilla gets tired enough to let a human destroy you. You know what I'm excuse me, like just kill it. You know what I'm saying? Like the animal instincts are crazy. But if it's 100 people charging against a gorilla at once, like there's no way that they can stop it. So we're gonna see what the experts say. I don't know if these are experts. This is my first time reacting to the channel, the infographic show. We'll see what they have to say for the answer. But yeah, man, comment below what you guys think, man, and if like any factors change anything or why you think one way or another. But let me know, because I definitely think it's an interesting question, but I feel like it's a pretty simple answer in my opinion.
That the greatest philosophers have mulled since the dawn of time. Could 100 men take on and defeat a single gorilla? Today we're turning to our very own resident panel of gorilla fighting experts to bring you the definitive answer to the internet.
This is so crazy that it's got like this type of attention that experts are coming to talk about it. Who even came up with this question first? How did this get mainstream?
An average gorilla against 100 average-sized human men. First, a warning: if you're thinking of solving this problem yourself by visiting the local zoo, don't. Seriously, gorilla kind has already suffered enough, with President George Bush personally ordering Hammurabi's assassination because he knew the truth about 9/11. In the blue corner, we've got Homo sapiens.
I've looked at this channel already.
The male side of the species, which means quite a diverse cross-section.
I was like, where's he going with this?
Your friends to look around. Imagine all you standing up for humanity and pride, and a man on a gorilla, winner-take-all showdown. In other words, we are pretty screwed. Maybe this whole thing would have been more equal 300 years ago, when men and women had to brave the harsh frontier, and its many dangers just to earn the right to live every day.
Hopefully this music don't get me in trouble, bro.
So common, people were legitimately safer drinking alcohol. Matter of fact, death itself was so
bro, yeah, like the fucking, like the difference in medication from back then and now is crazy, dude. I was watching the show, Boardwalk Empire, bro. Yo, first of all, that show was crazy. I'm in season 3. I haven't gone through all of it. Not gonna lie, I've been kind of slacking on it because I've been busy like with the reactions in school and stuff and work. But dude, that show was crazy. And they do some crazy stuff in there. But like seeing like the difference in like medicine and shit from back then and how easy it was to get like prescriptions for stuff. It's crazy to see how things like change from time to day.
He's had at least a dozen children each, plenty of spares, and replacements for those who inevitably die of illness or starvation. To say that humanity has gone soft would be an understatement. Physical fitness standards amongst an average cross-section of humanity are at the lowest they have ever been in our history.
Hey man, tell them infographics.
2 out of 5 American youth are fit to serve in the military, a fact that is fueling a recruiting crisis for the U.S. military. And if you're not American, the Chinese military has had to lower its recruitment standards in 2014 and to lower its physical fitness standards for all non-combat roles.
That's crazy,
Welcome
bro.
to first world status, baby. Enjoy your complimentary Big Mac and supersized Coke. The average human is, well, pretty unimpressive, to be honest. But then again, when you look at the whole of the animal kingdom, even above average humans are pretty pathetic. This is going to come as a shocker for humans who think muscles are
like in comparison to a gorilla, yeah.
Compared to the average animal.
Yeah,
it's not really humanity's fault, though. It's evolution's. Other animals had to evolve to be strong enough.
Dude, I saw Blacker the other day, actually. It literally ran right in front of my car on the way to school.
Intelligence and conflict resolution. This meant that unlike a herd animal who matures to become huge and strong with antlers to match, humans didn't evolve to establish dominance by brute strength. The dominant individuals in human society are the most clever ones that can lead their group to success season after season. At least that's how it was in the savannah. And our savannah ancestry is why, to most large animals, we're all just a bunch of noodly soy boys. You might bench 350 pounds and think that's impressive, except for the fact that the average deer is still going to have more striking power than you and would absolutely ruin you.
There's so many
stumpy boys to be our physical downfall. As an intelligent pack species, humanity evolved in a pretty extraordinary way that set us apart from any other ape and nearly all other animals. We became persistent hunters, lacking claws and mouths full of sharp teeth, or any significant strength to speak of. Humans developed the ability to run long distances in blazing hot savanna heat. We literally evolved a biological cheat code in the ability to sweat, combined with an ultra-efficient breathing system.
Oh shit, to keep us cool.
Long after other animals had dropped from exhaustion.
Oh shit.
Cheetahs may be the fastest animal on the planet, and lions may be stronger and faster than us, but they can only exert themselves for brief periods of time, or risk dying of heat stroke. They simply can't shed heat fast enough to avoid
educational reaction, bro. I didn't even know all that, man.
Jim Bro, who needs 9 different protein shakes a day to have a sliver of self-esteem.
I be slugging them, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have 9, I have like probably 2, 3.
Matter of fact, this
shit, you gotta do what you gotta do to get to your protein goals, man.
That guy probably weighs no more than 100 pounds, and if you bench 350 and think you could take him, well, it would take us an entire TED Talk to explain how wrong you are. This Maasai hunter is the pinnacle of human evolutionary perfection. His life form is perfectly adapted for aerobic excellence, meaning as you're trying to lunge at him with creatine coursing through your veins, he's easily sidestepping you and literally running in circles around you, and he will just keep running in circles around you until you tire yourself out and start overheating, exactly like the prey he hunts every day to put food in his family's mouth.
Bro,
and when you've collapsed on the floor completely exhausted, that's when he'll move in for the kill. Modern convenience, though, has moved us all far away from this example of aerobic perfection. The average male
got it,
today is
bro.
better
You got
adapted to a life scroll through TikTok and doing office work than any physical exertion. On average, a male between the ages of 18 and 35 can do a single rep of bench between 40 to lift on average around 155 pounds. Grip strength, once important for securing prey, has diminished. The average man can generate a punching
They
force
use
that
like
maxes
straps
out
and shit. I
around
mean, I'm not knocking on
150
people who use straps,
which isn't
but
bad until you figure in the
I
fact
don't
that
use any
you're a prey animal can
accessories in
kick
the
hard
gym.
enough to break human bones. Factor in a complete lack of aerobic fitness in
I
the
do
modern
not
man,
fuck
and
with
you have an army
Wildcat,
of
bro.
100
They got it,
pounds
bro.
that
Every
suddenly
time,
looks very
like I see an
unimpressive,
animal, they got
especially
it.
when their opponent is quite literally physically perfect by comparison and much larger than them. But fret not, because
Dude, I low-key
gorilla
forgot this video was
scientists in
about the
the Infographics
gorillas, man.
lab still have a
They're doing all this
strategy
science shit, all this
to fight,
educational shit.
even if it is probably not what you were expecting. All right, time to meet the competition, an adult silverback gorilla.
Dude, gorilla is my favorite animal.
Silverback gorilla isn't the proper term. Silverback is
G-Unit,
simply
man. You already know what I'm saying. It's really
gorillas.
unit.
When you think of a gorilla, there are two different types: the mountain gorilla and their lesser-known counterparts, the lowland gorillas. Despite their prowess, gorillas have not exhibited the same level of evolutionary success as other primates, and their range is extremely limited to just a small part of sub-Saharan Africa. The mountain gorilla is classed as endangered, and the rest are critically endangered, especially given the illegal gorilla hunting that is a persistent problem, despite protection by game wardens and rangers. Despite natives knowing of their existence, gorillas weren't formally recognized by academia until relatively recently in human history. One of the first popular accounts of a gorilla comes from English adventurer Andrew Patel, and can we acknowledge the
I've
fact
heard of that
that
name before.
adventurer used to be a legitimate profession? Humanity has really gone downhill in recent centuries. In 1625, Patel's account of giant humanoid apes was met with skepticism and ridicule by many, despite natives knowing of their resistance for millennia. Patel described how the gorillas traveled together in groups and killed many natives that they ran across. That is bad news for our would-be gorilla warriors, when one of the first historical accounts of them specifically mentions the ease with which they murder humans. Patel goes on to say how gorillas can't be taken alive because they are stronger than 10 men. But just how strong are they really?
I was gonna say, is that
This
true?
what the average gorilla looks like. Those arms are thicker around than some people's waist. The creatures are just pure muscle, and this is without doing any sort of weight training. Gorillas are literally just built different. No one's ever taught a gorilla how to use the gym, and God help us all.
I was gonna say, imagine a gorilla in the gym, bro.
However, gorillas have been observed bending the thick metal bars of their cages in the zoos. On average, it's estimated that a gorilla can be anywhere from 4 to 10 times as strong as a human, though.
Dude,
One
that's
advantage
so
that gorillas
crazy.
have over humans is that strength has been evolutionarily prioritized in the species. Natural selection will favor different traits in an animal, ultimately passing down and honing those traits that best lead to survival. Cheetahs were once ordinary wildcats. The fastest of them would average more successful hunts than other members who may have preferred raw strength or other attributes. With faster cheetah ancestors being more successful than their rivals, they were more likely to survive and be selected for mating. This would continue for generations, passing down their genes and leading to individuals better adapted for speed.
That's kind of crazy to see how, like,
Cheetah
evolution
appeared on the
happens.
scene. Gorillas faced many of the same problems that other hominids
Like,
did.
for, like, every
They had
species,
to
like
evolve
humans,
on the
like,
ground
when they
rather
just said
than
the whole
stick to
sweating thing,
trees.
like, how
But
they
unlike
had,
humans and our cousins,
they unlocked
gorillas
sweating to
suited
cool them
well
down
for
when they were
hunting.
running in the
And
heat.
just like us, they lacked claws.
That's just
or other
crazy, man. Like,
significant
you learn that in
natural
school,
weapons.
but, like,
Thus,
you forget it as you
strength
get
became
older,
the defining
man, so.
attribute of gorilla survival, leading
Y'all
to
better be taking
thousands of
notes, man.
generations of selective breeding until today, when the average gorilla is built like a brick house. Despite having no natural predators,
Yeah, I want
gorillas have
nothing
no
to do with
strangers
that hunter
fighting.
versus
Their
one
society
gorilla,
is
man. I
basically
want
built
nothing
on
to
it.
do with it.
There's a slight difference between lowland and mountain gorillas, but
Man,
generally
you're in my
speaking,
face,
when
bro.
mature males will leave the family group and strike out on their own. Some mountain gorilla groups, however, will allow mature males to remain in the group, subordinate to the mature silverback. When the silverback dies, the subordinate males will compete for the privilege of being troop leader. Gorillas are a bit of a conundrum. While they
That's what
lack
I'm
the
saying, bro. They're
predatory instincts
crazy.
of carnivores, and there's almost no documented aggression toward humans that wasn't self-defense, gorillas actually fight quite a bit amongst each other. Male gorillas tend to cooperate once the hierarchy is established, but males inside of a mixed group will rarely ever have strong bonds with each other. However, gorillas in all male groups will actually develop strong bonds with each other and express them with grooming and even play. Solo, socially inept males tend to be very aggressive towards both males and females, though. Lacking social skills, solo male gorillas will often seek to challenge a mature silverback for dominance. Solo males will even raid family groups and commit infanticide, killing the offspring of the silverback. This puts them in conflict with the females who will fight to defend their children. As it turns out, though, most of the violence actually comes from female gorillas. Females in the same family group will have good relations with each other, but non-maternally related females will frequently be very aggressive toward each other and view each other as competition for male attention. Females will also sometimes pick fights with males, even the silverback leader, demanding to mate. Eventually, two
The jokes
rival
just
males
write
will
themselves,
fight to take
man.
control of a troop, and these fights can and do end in death. However, despite this, gorillas actually rarely pursue violent options, and instead frequently engage in displays of strength and a behavior known as bluff charges, designed to be intimidating and warning displays. While gorillas tolerate human researchers and even tourists extremely well, males will occasionally warn individual humans with a bluff charge to keep their distance. The reason serious violence is rare is due to their strength. Gorillas are so strong that they innately know that any serious fight is likely to end in death or grievous injury. Afraid of the consequences, gorillas prefer to posture and pretend over actual violence. But when a silverback is being challenged, sometimes violence is the only answer, and these fights have a good chance of ending in death.
Damn,
Before a
bro.
fight even starts, you're likely to see the famous chest-thumping behavior that's associated directly with gorillas. If you ever encounter a wild gorilla, here's a pro tip. Don't thump your chest at them. This is specifically an intimidation tactic meant to show just how powerful the gorilla is. The larger and the stronger the gorilla, the bigger the chest, and the lower frequency the chest something creates. This audio cue is basically like advertising an accurate measure of your strength to a rival, and it lets them know you're not afraid to use it. Next, you're going to see the final warning before violence. Gorillas on the verge of a fight will exhibit not just bluff charges, but they'll begin tearing off large limbs from trees and beating the ground with them or just throwing them
That
around.
would look scary
Like
as hell. I wish I
tree
could real
begin
footage.
shaking it violently. It's all meant to advertise just how strong this gorilla is. Ignore that final warning, and it's fight night. So let's look at weapons. For the gorilla, it's obvious. Aside from incredible strength, they have huge canines that develop as the gorilla reaches maturity. Despite their intimidating size, starting at 3 inches,
3
these
inches
teeth
on the
aren't
tooth,
eating
bro.
meat. They're actually evolved to help the gorilla chew up tough tree bark and rip it apart. But they're also excellent.
Yeah, the gorilla
weapons
got it,
that gorillas
bro.
aren't afraid to
Anybody
use.
wants to try it, man?
Huge
The gorilla
puncture
got it.
wounds on rivals that can be deadly.
The
For
gorilla
humans,
got
our
it,
natural
bro.
weapons are pretty pathetic. But, well, we do have one, our ability to punch. Scientists believe that our hands and our forearms actually evolved to help us punch things, given that we're absolutely useless otherwise. Like most people, you probably punched through some drywall after your mom said no to buying more Monster Energy drinks, and you probably hurt yourself. That's because you're punching wrong. It might seem intuitive that a good punch should make use of the entire front side of a ball of fist, but in fact, the only thing you're doing is risking a broken knuckle. Instead, you should strike with a fist that is slightly canted down, so your top knuckles absorb the energy of the punch and transfer it down your forearm. This concentrates the kinetic energy of your punch into a smaller section, making it more devastating than if it were spread around a larger area. But it also keeps you from breaking your knuckle bones. The good news is gorillas can't punch, and you can. The bad news is gorillas don't need to
Bro,
because they're
literally,
strong
bro, I
enough
feel
to
like
tear
literally
gorillas
they
up.
just fucking
It's fight night, and it's
jerk
time to
his
settle the
paws.
score.
Oh,
Who's
that
gonna
was
win?
crazy, bro.
A single gorilla or 100 humans? The gorilla. Of course the gorilla wins. Why would anyone expect anything different? Let's explain exactly why.
That was
It isn't
crazy,
just
bro.
that the gorilla is stronger than you. It's that it is massive enough
Dude, I'm
that
debating if I should
600
edit that
pounds like
out.
your pathetic noodle boy punches aren't going to do any significant damage to it. Gorilla bodies evolved to withstand blows from other gorillas. You get carpal tunnel playing Minecraft too long. You are literally built different. But
That was
worse.
crazy.
Also, the gorilla is spending every day surviving in the
That
wild.
was crazy.
You're probably almost out of breath just going from your gaming chair to answer the delivery driver at
Can't
the
even
front door.
focus on that
The gorilla's
video,
life is
bro.
all about
Crazy.
aerobic exercise. The gorilla isn't just stronger than you, it's got the stamina to repeatedly tear the arms off of attackers. Then there is this psychological factor. The moment that the rest of the crowd sees the first group
Oh,
of humans getting limbs removed, like petals being pulled off a daisy, most people are going to cut and run. Even if we put you in an arena with no escape, with most individuals fleeing the gorilla, it avoids its only real weakness, being overwhelmed. We did promise to tell you how you could win, though. It's probably going to result in most of the 100 humans dying, but that's a sacrifice
That's what I'm
we're willing
saying,
to
man.
make.
Just all charge at
Hornets will quickly
once.
attack and raid honeybees, who are about a third of their size. Hornets are armored like tanks, so these things bounce off their mandibles and do nothing. But the honeybees figured out a surefire way to kill and
Exactly, bro. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the video.
It is immediately swarmed by
Dude,
dozens
that's
of
what I was
honeybees.
saying at the
The
beginning of the
hornets
video.
also rip the bees apart with ease, but the bees simply keep coming. Eventually, they manage to completely overwhelm the hornet and bury it under a mass of their own bodies. Then, the bees start to vibrate their bodies.
Yo,
turning into oil.
damn.
Under a pile of bees, the hornet is slowly but surely cooked alive, and some of the bees as well. If you
Bro,
want to survive against the
damn.
rampaging gorilla, your best bet is to get the other 99 people with you to agree to bum rush it.
Yes.
The gorilla can and will absolutely annihilate many of you as you try to pin it down. But eventually,
Shout out
the
to me for
gorilla
being
should
so
be so
smart,
tired of
bro.
turning humans inside out that you're able to dogpile on it and pin it down.
Shout out to me
Anyone
for
who's
being
ever
so
been in a mosh
smart.
pit knows how dangerously hot it can get. With a gorilla trapped under a pile of human bodies, it's a matter of giving it lethal heat stroke due to the raising of your own body.
I wasn't even thinking about the heat stroke or the temperature. I was just thinking, like, you can't stop 100 people charging at you.
Everything you never said during that one family dinner. And that is how 100
How do you guys feel, man?
defeat a single gorilla by exhausting it with murder and then lying on top of it until it has heat stroke. Could 100 regular guys take down one full-grown gorilla, or would they all end up running for their lives? Drop your battle strategy or predictions for the last.
That's gonna do it for the video, man. 100 average men versus one gorilla, man. I told you guys at the beginning what I thought, man. I said if 100 people go at it at the same time, there's absolutely no way that the gorilla can stop it. And the video proved my point. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, man. Got a little educational. I hope you learned a couple things, man. Hey, man, school's getting out, but that doesn't mean we're gonna stop learning. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like always, I'll see you in the next video, man. Hell yeah.